Okay, y'all, we gotta talk about a Netflix movie called Adieu. That's the name of it. And y'all, this movie is stole my heart away because of the lead. The main, the lead actor name is Mustafa Umaru, and he is from Benin. And I think he's about 7 years old. And y'all, when I tell you he carried this movie, he carried it. It starts off with he and his sister. Adu is his name, is the lead character's name, and his older sister's name is Alika. It starts out with the two of them. It seems like they witnessed these poachers in Africa killing an elephant. And so that's a crime. You can do major time for that. So unfortunately, the poachers see them. Well, actually, they see Alika's bike, and they're like, we got to get rid of them. Yeah. So unfortunately, it starts off with a tragedy. These guys, these thugs, these poachers who killed the elephant for their tusks, they end up going to Adu's house. And you know, they're very poor. They live in Benin. They live with their mom, he and his sister Alika. She looks like she's about maybe 13 or 14, maybe 12. Let's say maybe about 14. And she's very protective of him. So sadly, the poachers break into their house at night, and the mother is killed. They beat her, um, and they shoot her. But thank God, Alika and little Adu were able to escape. And so when they leave, when they escape, they have plans to go meet up with their dad in Spain, in Madrid. But of course, everything takes money, and money is what they do not have. And so they end up talking with their aunt. The aunt hooks them up, introduces them to a guy that's supposed to be making sure that they get on a flight to Madrid to see their dad. The guy accepts cash from the aunt. Like I said, it's all about money, right? It's all about the dollar. But when time comes to put little Adu and Alika on the flight, you knew it had to be a catch, didn't you? He took the aunt's hard-earned money and said that they were supposed to stow away in the bottom of the plane where the luggage is. Yeah, they don't have plane tickets. They don't have real seats. They're not booked on a flight. Nobody knows that they're on the plane. But he's talking about they're supposed to be in the bottom of the plane where the luggage is. And so little Adu doesn't want to. He's not down with it at all. You know, his first mind tells him, no, you know, we need to get out of here. We need to get to our dad, but not like this. But his older sister talks him into it. I guess she feels like, well, we don't have any other way. So this crook that took the aunt's money, you know, the aunt is thinking that Alika and Adu are safely and soundly on a flight in a seat in a, you know, that was booked. And unbeknownst to her, they're in the luggage bin. And so this horrible crook, he does at least have some redeeming qualities. He gives Alika and Adu some warm clothing to bundle up in. So the next part is really, really sad. There were several parts to this movie that really made me cry and upset me. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it took me a while to get through this movie. Not because I didn't like it, not because it was boring, but because it made me feel. And it made me feel especially for Lil Adu. Yeah, and so this was one of the parts that I had to stop. Like I would be watching, and then I would stop it, and I would have to get myself together, go do something, and come back. But the movie is a beautiful, well-told story. But Lil Adu will steal your heart away, and there's several scenes that will upset you because you feel for him so deeply. And so this was one of those scenes. So they're in the storage bin, the flight takes off, and it's very, very cold. It's like freezing. So Alika, being the protective big sister, she gives Lil Adu all of the clothing to bundle up in because he's so little. Y'all, you got to see it. He's adorable. He's the most beautiful little boy. But She gives Adu all of the clothing, the little hat and the jackets and the sweatshirts and everything, and then she's rubbing his little hands together, so he's not cold. And she says, "Look, we're gonna huddle together. We're gonna hug up together, hug each other, so we'll stay warm. Our body temperatures will keep us warm." And so they fall asleep. And when little Adu wakes up, he sees Alika just laying, close to him. She was not hugged up with him like she was when they went to sleep, but unfortunately, she passed away because she got too cold. So she gave all of the clothing to him. Isn't that something? So Alika saved his life. She saved his life, but she ended up losing hers. And you see me getting choked up while I'm telling the story now. But anyway, like I'm saying, beautiful movie, well told. The actor, oh, little Mustafa he's a wonderful little actor. All right, so after that happens, she ends up falling out of the plane because, like I said, they're in the bottom of the plane where the luggage is stowed, okay? And this tire, when they land, the tire comes down and the bottom of the plane opens out. So it just so happened that at the time when little Adu discovers Alika's body, the plane is about to land, so that tire goes out of the plane. It comes out and the bottom of the plane opens out, and Alika's body was sucked out of the plane. And little Adu was so heartbroken, y'all. Like you just felt for him so much, and you just wanted to like rescue him and save him. So the next scene, little Adu arrives at, I think, a place near Morocco, maybe a city near Morocco, and the people find him. He's out of the plane, and this man's like, "What are you doing here?" Coming out the luggage bin. And Adu is so exhausted and so tired and has gone through so much. He's probably starving. He's probably so hungry that he just passes out right there. So you expect them to say, okay, this is a little kid. He's unaccompanied. He doesn't have his parents with him. He doesn't have any guardians with him. He's obviously been through. Let's take him to a hospital. This is some city, like I said, it's near Morocco, but it's still in Africa. So these are African people. They take Adu to the police station, y'all. They don't take him to the hospital to get him checked out. No, they take a little kid. He's like 4 or 5, like I think he's 7 years old, but he's really little for his age, to the police station. Yes, horrible. So he's sleeping, he's taking a nap. He wakes up and he sees a teenager, a boy who's about, I guess you would say 16 or 17 years old maybe. And the boy is doing these little magic tricks, right? He's like making balls, like little tennis balls. Maybe no, smaller tennis balls, like little pong balls, little ones. Little white balls come out of his mouth, like doing magic tricks for Adu, making him laugh. So come to find out, this guy's name is Masar, and he's down to the police station because he had like forged some papers, like forged an ID or something. And so he and Adu, they become really good friends. They become brothers. And so they're in this little truck, and the police are supposed to be transporting them to somewhere where they transport immigrants, illegal immigrants, or what have you. And the little train, the little bus that they're transporting them on, they have to stop abruptly because there's a fight or something. So the cops in the truck get out and go tend to the fight. And while they're doing that, Masar's like, "You want to get out of here?" And the little dude's like, "Yeah, of course I do." So they take off running. And like right at that moment, you're like, there's something special here between these two. And so Masar takes it upon himself to be Masar's protector, to be his brother, to be his family, to be his friend. And you fall in love with both of them. You really do. And so you're so relieved. The audience is relieved because you're like, well, Alika has passed. Who will be the protector? Who will look out for Adu? And there, right there, Masar. There he is. He appears. And so Masar, unfortunately, has a very hard life. He's had a very hard life. Nice looking kid, very handsome guy. And we find out that living on these streets, no parents, no grandparents, no family to look after him, he's had to sell himself on the streets. So, like I said, there's scenes that you feel so much for Adu, you feel so much for Masar, and you just want to take them. You just want this to be a situation where you can just adopt them. Like I was like, let me adopt me a child from Africa and save them from this, right? This type of situation. Like you want to rescue the characters from their realities. And so, like I said, it's a beautiful movie, but here, this is another scene that was hard to get through, hard to watch, and I had to stop it. You see them hungry. You know, they're trying to find food. They're homeless. They don't have anywhere to eat, to live. They don't have anywhere to lay their heads. And so, at one situation, little Adu is like, "Oh, I'm so hungry." Masar has no money to get him anything, and so that night they're sleeping at a truck stop. And then while little Adu is still asleep, you see Masar walking down a long like hall or corridor between the trucks. The trucks are lined up. The trains are parked. It's nighttime, right? Nobody's around, and so Masar is walking slowly. And then you're like, wait a minute, is this what I think it is? And it was. Masar was walking towards a trucker. He gets into the cab of the truck, and he spends the night in the cab of the truck. So you can imagine what his life has been like this whole time. So, like I said, he's on the streets, homeless, no food, no one to care for him. So he's doing these types of things to try to survive. And so the next morning, Adu wakes up. He can't find him. And he kind of panics. You know, his mother passed away, his sister passed away, so he panics like, where is Masar? And then Masar comes out of the cab of the truck, and he's walking back towards Adu. And if you had seen Adu's eyes light up when he saw Masar, beautiful moment. So it was like, I thought I'd lost you, but here you are. And Masar was so happy to see him, and he said, oh, I have money, so we can eat now. And Adu was so happy. He said, how did you get that money? And Masar uses this term magic for the money he's able to get. And so Adu has no idea how he's, the things that Masar has to do to get the money, but he's just so happy that his brother is here. He looked for his friend, his brother, couldn't find him, and now he's here, and they got money they can eat. And so the story turns really quickly from sadness and desperation based on what Masar has to do to survive on these streets to happiness and joy, because you see them together and happy and, trying to make it. And then you see this unconditional love that Adu has for Masar. You know what Masar is doing. You know what his life is like. You know what he's forced to do. And then this unconditional love that they give to each other. Adu is like, I love you. I don't care. I don't care about anything else. And Masar is like, I love you. And I don't care about nothing else. Beautiful, beautiful movie. And so we see that... and I got to tell y'all this, interwoven into this plot is a storyline about a Spanish environmentalist. It's a guy who works for an organization that protects animals. Okay, and his storyline is with his daughter Sandra. He's divorced. He and his wife are divorced, and Sandra has come to Africa to spend time with her dad. And so she's kind of like wild party girl, likes to go out, drink, party too much, and he wants her to do well in life. And so they have this power struggle. He wants her to stop partying, stop drinking, and stop doing this and doing that, and she don't want to stop, of course. And so their family dynamic, their father-daughter relationship is interwoven in the storyline. And then it's a storyline of one of the officers, the military officers who works the border. And he actually, one of his co-workers had killed an unarmed immigrant, had I think beat him over the head, and so this guy's friend is facing charges. So anyway, make a long story short, you have two other stories that are being told at the same time that Adu and Masar's story is being told. But I'm gonna be honest with you, every time the other stories were being told, the Spanish people story, the father daughter, the army officer, I was like, okay, quick, hurry up, tell what you got to tell, say what you got to say, and get back to Adu and Masar. So the story could have been told just with Adu and Alika, Adu and Masar, you see? And so it was three stories interwoven, but the one story, the only story that they truly needed was Adu and Masar. That's it, I'm telling you. So one day, little Adu is getting some water. And you know, in Africa, when they put the buckets on top of their head to get the water, and they know how to balance them. You know how you see, you're like, wait a minute, how did they balance them so well? Well, he's so little. He's 7 years old, but like I said, he's so little for his age. And you're like, well, how's he balancing this thing so well? Just adorable. So he's balancing this bucket. He's going to get some water. And while he's doing this, Masar is juggling. Because like I said, he does different things. He lives in the streets. He's homeless. He's on his own. So he hustles, you know, he does different things to get money. So one of his hustles is he does magic tricks, like he did in the police station with the little golf balls when he first met Adu. So he's busy juggling, trying to hustle, make some money. And little Adu, with his precious little self, is getting water. And so this cab driver pulls up and talking about, do you want chocolate? He gonna pull up to Adu, and you get a feeling like, this is not right. Masar, please come over here. But of course, Masar is busy trying to, you know, get his dollar, get his paper, doing the juggling. So he doesn't have his eyes on Adu at that moment. Bad decision. Adu, being excited about getting chocolate, you know, little kids, you know, some of them really love candy. He gets in the car with this guy, and this guy tries to molest him. And so you're like, no, don't let this, cannot happen to Adu. It cannot. It just can't. And so this was another one of those scenes, y'all, that I told you about that I had to stop. I was like, no, not Adu. Because you fall in love with Adu. You want to protect him. You want to save him. You want to rescue him. You know, you want to adopt him. All of these things. And it's like you feel so deeply when anything happens to him or when anything almost happens to him. So thank God. Little Adu's hollering, screaming, fighting, trying to get out the car. He couldn't get out the car. The car was parked so close to a wall that when he opened the door wouldn't open. So you're like, oh my gosh, what is going to happen to Adu? So thank God Masar looked around, didn't see Adu, panicked, and then looked at in the area where the cab driver was parked and saw Adu hollering, screaming, struggling to get out of the cab. Thank God. So Masar runs up to the car, cab driver pulls that door open and beats him over the head with a rock or something, and he ends him as he should have. And so he and Adu get away, but it was like a very scary moment because you didn't know what was going to happen. And so later on he talks to Adu. They're in a cave, they got food, they got something to eat, and he tells them what happened. And he was like, you know, these men, you know, in the past, Masar speaking to Adu, had, you know, they made him dress up, put makeup on, dress up like a girl. And, you know, you could tell he's telling Adu that they, you know, took advantage of him. You know, like they abused him, like he's a victim of abuse. And so he tells Adu that you don't ever have to do those things. And Adu's like, magic, you know, that's magic. You do magic. He's like, nah, you don't want to, this the magic that you don't want any parts of. You know, so it's so wonderful to see Masar wanting to save Adu from what he had to go through. You know, he's like, I had to do this. This is what I did to make it, but I'm going to make sure you don't ever have to go through these things. So it's, again, Masar is Adu's, you know, protector. And you feel for them and you want them to win. Like you say to yourself, the odds are against them. They have no money, they're homeless, right? No jobs, no adults to take care of them, no family. All they have is each other and love, the love they have for each other. And so you really are pulling for them at every moment of this film. So again, like I said, the back and forth with the guy that works for the environmental agency and his daughter, their storyline. He's trying to save her from herself, and then you have the storyline of the Spanish army officer going through the court situation with the killing of this unarmed immigrant. You have those stories that are being told, but they are so unnecessary because the only story that really matters is Adieu. The name of the movie is Adieu. So we want to get back to Adieu, but that's what we want to see. So trying to get to Madrid, I think at this point they're trying to get to a city called Melilla. And Melilla, if you haven't heard of it before, is a Spanish city located in North Africa near Morocco. So yes, it is physically, geographically located in North Africa, yes, but it is a Spanish colony, I guess, settlement, right? You know how Spain and France and England, unfortunately, how they colonized all of Africa. Well, this is a Spanish-owned territory. And so they get there. To get there, you have to let me back up. Let me backtrack. So, like I said, Massara's had to go through a lot. He's had to do a lot of things. He's had to see a lot of things that he shouldn't have had to see. And so they're at this little immigration settlement in the woods, and everyone's homeless. Everyone's living in tents. It's a real impoverished type situation, but it's like an immigration settlement type area. One of the doctors, Doctors Beyond Borders, that program, examines Massar right out there in the woods, in the settlement, and it's you're very ill, and you need to go to the hospital right now to be checked out. They got to look at you. And so you're looking at Massar and you're like, wait a minute, something ain't right with him. He doesn't look the same way he did at the beginning of the movie when he met Adieu in the police station. So the audience is like, wait a minute, there is something off here. So come to find out, Massar is sick with HIV or AIDS because he's had to live in the streets, and he's had to do he's been the victim of abuse by these different men, and he's sick. And so he denies help. He says, no, I'm not going to the hospital. And the doctor insists, and he's like, no. And so at first I was real mad with him. I was like, what? You need help. They need to look after you. They need to take care of you. And then I got it. Light bulb went off. And I was like, if he goes to the hospital, who's going to take care of Adieu? There's no guarantee that they'll take them together, that they'll be, grouped together, that they'll say, okay, take one, take them both, have them together. He won't be able to control the situation, in terms of care for Adieu. And so that's another part that's very difficult, because you say to yourself, he's got HIV or maybe AIDS. How is he going to survive this and take care of Adieu? So that's weighing on the audience's mind. And so the next scene, nighttime, he and Adieu are in the water on little tires trying to swim, make it, escape, reach Melilla, okay? And they get separated because, of course, the tides are so strong. So Adieu is hollering and screaming for Massar because they got separated. He thinks that Massar is dead and lost. Massar is howling for Adieu. It's bad, y'all. It was heart-wrenching. One of those scenes I had to stop. But praise God, the Coast Guard comes along and saves them. Yes. They save them in the middle of the night. They put warm blankets on them. And they tell them, okay, it's all good. Now, guess who one of the officers is that saved them? The dude whose story was being told, whose homeboy had shot the immigrant, had beat the immigrant and killed the immigrant and was being investigated. They bring the stories together. The army officer and Massar and our Adieu. They wind up together. All right, so you're like, okay, finally, they're going to make it. They get into Melilla, then they can get from Melilla to Madrid. They can get to their daddy. The daddy probably, if he's not balling, he probably has a good job, steady income, place to live, food. you know, they can make it to Adu's father. Adu's father can take care of both Adu and Masar, and it's all going to be good. No. Mm-mm. They get all the way to the border, y'all, all the way in the police car or the immigration officer's car, whatever, and they stop the car and they're like, they pull Masar out, y'all, right before they get across the border. So they've done all of this. They've been through all that they've been through, survived all that they survived, and then right there, right before the border, they pull Masar out, and there's no reason given as to why. And so Adu, of course, is heartbroken again. He's hollering and screaming, and he's so powerless, just like we as the audience are powerless. So that's what's so hard. As the audience, you want to do something right now to stop this at this very moment, and then you realize there's nothing you can do. And you want to save both of them so desperately. And so there's no explanation given, but I think that probably there's a couple of things going on. Masar is older than Adu. Like I'm thinking 16, 17, but he may be 18. He may be. And so he might be over the age. You know, he might be counted as an adult. So if he's counted or looked upon as an adult, he may be over the age that is allowed for them to stay in the children's settlement, the children's home, the children's center for immigrants. His age could be one thing. Another thing could be that Masar has these priors. Remember when he was in the police station, and he first met Adu, he said that he was in the police station for falsifying documents, fake IDs or whatever. So it could be that he has priors. Also, the third thing could be his health situation. Maybe it's because he's HIV positive. Maybe it's because he has either HIV or AIDS. So there's three possibilities. His age, he might be over the age limit. It could be his priors. It could be his health situation. But in any case, no matter what the reason is, we want them to win. We want Adu and Masar to win at any cost, at all costs, because they've made us fall in love with them. And we've seen all they've been through. And so you see the next scene where Adu is in the children's center. He's in a bed, in a bunk bed, and then he gets out of the bed, and I don't know if it's a bunk bed, but anyway, he's in a bed in the center, and he's got covers and stuff, got blankets, and there's lots of beds all around. The room is full of beds, so it's like, okay, this is the center, the children's center for immigration, right? And it looks like there's a lot of kids there, possibly, but it looks like it's a humane type situation, like it's, like a comfortable situation. He has a bed, he has blankets, he looks like he's being taken care of there. And so the next scene, you just see him walk outside and look up in the sky, look up at the sun, like, what's next? So it does end on a somewhat of a hopeful note, because he is at the Children's Center for Immigrant Children. And, it's not like, a very horrifying, terrible, impoverished situation. It looks like it's a well-kept, clean place, warm place for children to stay. So it could be that they go from this place to being adopted out. They go from this place to being sent to loving homes and loving, caring families. So they definitely need a sequel. I need to see what actually happens to Adu. I need to know what happens to Masar. Do they link up? Do they get back together? Do they find each other? What happens with Masar's health situation? What about Masar? What about Adu's dad? Does the dad ever show up? Does he ever reach his father? Is he adopted? Is Masar adopted? I got questions that need answering. But again, Netflix movie Adu. I know I'm a little late. This movie was out in July 2020, but I'm just now watching it because one of my good friends recommended it. Netflix movie Adu. It is a Spanish movie, but you can put it in different languages. You can put subtitles on it, and it is a phenomenal movie. The star, Mustafa Umaru, is remarkable in every scene, and he deserves all the awards. And like I said, after watching this movie, I was like, okay, I'm adopting some kids from Africa. I'm serious. I'm like, Lil Adu is so adorable and so loving and so outstanding and so intelligent that I'm gonna do international adoption and adopt some children from Africa and give them a wonderful, loving, caring, you know, Christian home. You know, that was something that came to me upon watching the movie. So again, I highly recommend Adu on Netflix. Watch it twice, watch it 3 times. I've watched it several times. And let me know in the comments what you think. And I will talk to y'all later. Oh, and by the way, make sure you like this video. Go ahead and like it right now. Go ahead and do it. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe. And when you hit the bell with the 2 parentheses on the side so you can get all of the notifications every time I post a video. All right, y'all. Have a wonderful day.